Let me take you right into it, blood trickling down my arm as they dragged me off stage, my harmonica clutched so tight I could barely feel my fingers, crowd in total chaos. And that massive Rottweiler, the famous one whimpering at my feet like he understood exactly what I was going through. Crazy start, right? Sometimes I wonder how it all looked from the outside, because inside my head, none of this felt like a story, just survival. Just trying to breathe through one more night where the world told me I didn't belong. Let me back up a sec. Picture this. Mid-July, Atlanta's air thick enough to swim through, luxury cars parading up the driveway of Elmwood Estate, everybody dressed like magazine covers and acting like royalty. I swear, the sun hits a Bentley different when the folks climbing out don't have a care in the world except whose name gets the biggest headline tomorrow. At the door, Maxwell Caldwell, yeah. That Maxwell Caldwell, billionaire, kingmaker, tech mogul, whatever else people call him, shakes hand with everyone like he's hosting a peace summit instead of the city's flashiest charity gala. I could see my own mom, Jasmine, sweating in the kitchen behind that grand facade, trying to keep her head down, keep her job, keep me out of sight because this isn't a place for folks like us except in aprons and white gloves. Inside, it's a palace crystal chandeliers, marble floors, silk wallpaper, and art so fancy I didn't even recognize half the painters' names. But you know what? Every guest was white. Every person pouring their wine or hauling their luggage. Black or brown, eyes down, walking quiet as shadows, so nobody noticed them unless something went wrong. And let me tell you, in those moments, you see everything: who gets to laugh loud, who gets to call the shots, who has to swallow their pride just to stay paid another week. I remember Trevor Caldwell Maxwell's son. If you can believe a grown man could be that lost dripping privilege, making sure the Blackwoods, his dad's VIP police commissioner guests, got whatever they wanted. He's the kind of guy who thinks medium rare is a matter of racial identity. My mom took all that with a straight back and a soft voice. "Stay invisible tonight," she'd whispered to me, pressing my shoulder, her hand warm but tense. "They don't want to see us unless we're serving." But me? I was never great at invisible. I'd finished unpacking the dessert supplies and was hovering by the kitchen door, peeking out every now and then. I kept my harmonica in my pocket silver, a little dented, once my father's, and pretty much the only way I had to say anything after he died. I don't talk much, not when things get loud or confusing. My world shrinks, and all I have left is music, or sometimes just the feel of the harmonica in my palm, grounding me. My mom calls it my secret voice. That night, the air was buzzing, and folks were gossiping about property values and those people moving into new neighborhoods. I knew what they meant. I knew to tuck my chin and slip back to the kitchen whenever their laughter got mean. The main show started when Maxwell rolled out his menagerie birds, tigers, and elephant, and finally his prize, Emperor, a Rottweiler built like a tank, with eyes sharp enough to cut glass. $1 million if you can calm him down, Maxwell called out. Just a game to him, a spectacle for the crowd, and not a soul thinking about how the dog must feel in that glass box, spotlights burning, strangers staring. The dog trainers and socialites tried their luck. Some got scared off in seconds. The TV famous dog guy nearly lost his fingers. Even Dr. Pierce, this animal behavior expert, couldn't reach Emperor. All the while, Trevor's making bets, mocking the failed attempts, taking digs at staff in ways you have to hear to believe. Like watching folks from the South Side try to get bank loans, he snickered right to a black security guard who just stared straight ahead, jaw tight, not giving him the satisfaction. But I wasn't watching them. I was watching Emperor. The way his legs shook, how his tongue flicked and eyes darted, told me more than anyone else seemed to notice. He wasn't angry, he was terrified. It felt a lot like the inside of my own head when things get too bright, too loud, too much. That's when everything spun out. I slipped out of the kitchen, drawn to that glass enclosure, feeling Emperor's distress almost as sharp as my own. Security tried to block my mom, threatened her job, and when I kept moving, the whole room turned, watching me like I was the entertainment now. Jasmine pleaded for me to come back, but Maxwell, ever the showman, decided to up the stakes. If the girl wants to try, let her. His voice smooth as poison, eyes daring me to say no. I could feel all those eyes, the laughter, the tension, the weight of 1,000 times I've been told to stay small, stay out of the way. I could hear my teacher's voice. Maybe next time, Zora, the store guard shadowing us, the neighbors shutting the pool. The harmonica in my hand was all I had. I nodded once. Security checked my pockets, rougher than they needed to be, but all they found was the harmonica. Emperor, already on edge, watched every move. My mom begged me not to do it. Dr. Pierce tried to stop it. Maxwell just smirked, certain of how this would end. Commissioner Blackwood made sure my mom knew exactly what was on the line of business, our future. So I walked in, heart pounding, breathing like my therapist taught me, 2 minutes on the clock, the whole world holding its breath. Emperor rose, growling, muscles tense as cables. I pulled out my harmonica and started to play, soft at first, then letting the music fill the air, that blues riff my dad used to play on stormy nights. It was our secret language, the one that always calmed me down when the world was too much. It worked. Emperor's growling faded, his body relaxed, tail thumping, eyes fixed on me like he understood everything I was saying without words. The crowd didn't know whether to gasp or laugh. Maxwell stared at the timer. Disbelief etched across his face as his champion sat at my feet, docile as a puppy. 2 minutes. I kept playing until the last note faded, and for that brief second, it felt like there was nothing in the world but me and Emperor, both of us seen for the first time. Maxwell lost it, called me a cheat, accused us of drugging the dog. Security grabbed me, my mom shouting for them to let go, but this time Emperor stepped between us, growling low and dangerous. They tried to grab my harmonica, Trevor bending it in his drunken hands, and that was the breaking point. Tears, the room spinning, my body shutting down like it always does when everything gets too much. Emperor snapped, not at me, but at the guard holding me, just enough to scare him into letting go. Guns came out. Dr. Pierce tackled Blackwood as he fired, glass shattering, chaos everywhere. And in the middle of it all, Trevor, half drunk and angry, let slip that the bets were always rigged, that Emperor was trained to attack on command. Phones caught everything. The story exploded. News vans and internal affairs showed up. Lieutenant Vasquez, a cop who wasn't on Maxwell's payroll, stepped in, ordered everyone to stand down. Our friends in the kitchen created a distraction so we could slip out me, my mom, Emperor Dr. Pierce, and my uncle Marcus, who just happened to be a civil rights lawyer. We hid in a van, then took shelter at Bethel AME Church, a sanctuary in Atlanta's black community, where the Witness Circle Church folk arm in arm formed a shield around us when police tried to force their way in. Through it all, Emperor stayed by my side. Maxwell tried to buy us off, threatened everyone, but the videos had already gone viral. Community leaders, musicians, even animal rights groups weighed in. The world saw the truth about Maxwell, about Blackwood, about me and Emperor, about how music and courage can shatter the stories people try to write for you. By morning, everything changed. Maxwell's sponsors bailed. The cops who tried to intimidate us got pulled off the case. Lawyers started negotiating, and I finally got to keep Emperor not as a trophy, but as my friend, my protector, my equal. Dr. Pierce launched a study on our bond, using it to help other autistic kids and rescue dogs. My mom's business took off. The money meant security, but more than that, the story meant we got to write our own ending for once. And Emperor became a therapy dog, famous in his own right, proof that even the most unlikely connections could transform lives. A year later, I stood on the stage at Symphony Hall, Emperor at my feet, playing my dad's harmonica, kicking off a program that would help thousands of kids find their voice. You know what I mean? The world tries so hard to divide us by race, by money, by who's got a voice and who's told to keep quiet. But when the music started, none of that mattered. People sang with me outside Bethel AME, cops and churchgoers and neighbors and strangers. It wasn't just about me or Emperor or even Maxwell's fall from grace. It was about everyone who's ever been told they're less than, everyone who's ever felt invisible. Yeah, that happened. And it keeps happening every time someone finds the courage to play their own truth, no matter who's watching. So what part of this story hit home for you? Was it seeing Emperor's transformation, or watching the walls come down around folks who thought they'd built them strong enough to last forever? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about justice, about community, about what it really means to stand up when it matters. If you believe in the power of music, of connection, of ordinary people rewriting the rules, go ahead and subscribe, and share this story. Because sometimes the quietest melody in the room is the one that changes everything.